Okay, so on this question, the fertilizer is 18516 and it's 35 grams per 100 liters to make 100 ppm. So how much for 350 liters? Now, I'm going to create a ratio here. This is something that you can put in different ways, but before I do that, let me just think about this with you, okay? So that means we got 35 grams in every 100 liters of water, right? So how do we get from 100 to 350, right? So you can say 350 divided by 100, which is divided by 100, which equals 3.5. Whoops, my pen. 3.5. So 3.5 times 100 equals 350 liters. Okay? Now, some people were asking about formulas and stuff like that. You know, at some point, you can't have formulas for everything. So you go to the restaurant, you want to calculate a 22% tip. That would be a really good tip, but you're going to pull out a formula. Well, let me get my card out here with the formula so I can. No, come on, there's some logic involved. So let me show you a couple of tricks here, right? So what we can do is what I like to call solve for x. So we put a line and a line. We change this to equals. We put 350 liters underneath the other unit, that's the same, and we put x here. So we know 35 grams for 100 liters is x for 350 liters. Now you can rearrange these types of ratios as long as the units are the same across, right? So what we can do here is we can move the x, but wherever we move it, we have to swap, right? So if I want to move the x up here, we have to swap the 100 down there. So it looks like this: 35 grams over 100 liters equals x over 350 liters. Okay, now we want to have x by itself. So what we can do is we can multiply up over here. So 335 grams times 350 liters divided by 100 liters equals x. So this is the sort of empirical way of solving this. And x, by the way, is 35 times 350 divided by 100, 122.5 grams. The liters cancel because they're above each other. That's the fancy math way to do it. But realistically, if I go back, if you're still confused about that, although I will continue to teach you that, so by the end of the term, you should know this cold. Again, if it's 35 grams in 100 liters, how many times do we have to multiply 100 to get to 350 liters? Well, you should be able to look at that and say, okay, to go from 100 to 350, it's 3.5 times 100, right? So if you're going to do 3.5 times 100, you also have to do something to the other side of the equation, 35 grams. So then it's 35 grams times 3.5. 35 times 3.5. And lo and behold, it equals 122.5 grams. So there's a couple of ways you can solve that question. And if you're confused on this and you want some more help, please email me and I will work through this with you individually. But try to start thinking like this. So, for example, if I say I have 35 grams, 100 liters, x, 350 liters. Solve for x. As long as we have these units the same, the liters cancel because they're over top each other. We bring this up, multiply, right? So x equals 35 grams times 350 liters divided by 100 equals 122.5 grams. And don't think for a minute that math is not important for greenhouse production, because you're calculating growth regulators, you're calculating insecticides, you're calculating fungicides, you're calculating areas that plants will be growing in. You're calculating dilution rates. You're calculating. If you're uncomfortable with this, you need to really work hard on your math class, or maybe you have to think of a different career. I don't know. Depends on your comfort level. All right, I'm going to start another question after this.